Is it just me who's going through it right now? I don't know what the fuck is going on in the air right now. I mean, I kind of do, but I don't know why I feel so shit at the minute and why I felt like everything has been such a struggle. I've just been feeling really burnt out, really overwhelmed, really lacking clarity in the direction of my life, not knowing what I am doing with my life, feeling nothing, but then also feeling everything at the same time. That has been really difficult for me because I've been feeling all these emotions, but I've not been knowing how to process them. My emotions are very much there, they're very present, but they feel stuck within my body because I can't process them and get them out, which is like the worst feeling ever. I've also been majorly comfort eating, just eating away my problems essentially, which is something that I've not done in the longest time because I've been so focused on this channel and so focused on something and busy. But I don't know what it is recently, like the busyness has actually made me go to the comfort eating because I've been busy doing work stuff, like 9 to 5 work stuff, and not busy doing what I actually love doing. So yeah, I've been like binge eating, I've been making really bad decisions, I've been avoiding all of my problems, and I guess that has led me up to the point where I'm at now. I've also been feeling so much rage, like I've actually been feeling so much anger and rage, and it makes me laugh because I always say like I don't know how to process the emotion of rage because I always just laugh at myself, and it's really annoying because I'll be really angry about something and then I'll, like, let's say for example when I'm working from home and somebody calls me and I'm like, oh my god, why does everyone want to speak to me today? And I get so angry about it, but then because I'm being self-aware, I feel like I can't switch off the self-awareness, so I notice myself doing it and then I'll just like take the piss out of myself, and then it's like I'm at conflicts all the time because I feel like I'm not able to fully release anger because I just always laugh at myself. But yeah, I've been feeling a lot of rage and a lot of irritability at just the most random things. But I think that's very natural considering how I've been treating myself and how I have been basically neglecting my core needs because I've just been so emotional. I don't think people talk about it enough, but the winter to spring transition is actually a really rough period of time. I think any seasonal change brings up a lot of emotions and a lot of everything in us, and people don't really talk about it. Like, spring's meant to be a really exciting time, like we all look forward to spring, but then when it actually gets here and we're faced with all these emotions, it's like, oh my god, what do I do with this? And I don't even know if this is like a collective experience because everyone in my life, in my immediate life, is fine. Everyone seems to be thriving and like living their best life, and I'm over here like so yeah, I've been going through it. It's been rough, but I am feeling a little bit better today, which is why I am coming to you guys with a video. And yes, I am very aware that at the minute there is a lot going on in the cosmos. I don't know if you guys are into that kind of thing, but there is a load of shit going on at the minute. We've just had a solar eclipse, it's just been the new moon, and we are in Mercury retrograde right now. There's just a lot of things going on, so it kind of does make sense like why I've been feeling this way, which gives me a little bit of comfort and a little bit of peace. I don't know about any of you guys. I think this is why I really like astrology, because it really validates me in a way that no one else really can. But yeah, if you guys are feeling the same way too, just know there's a lot of shit going on out there, up there, whatever. There's so much going on right now. If that can bring you any peace, then I'm very glad about that. So obviously, because my brain never switches off, I've had a lot of realizations over the past few weeks, I want to say. I've actually been feeling like this for a long time now, and it has, I would say since Easter, I've been feeling like this. And it's so crazy because when you're going through shit, like when you're feeling really depressed, you can observe what's going on and you kind of know why you're feeling depressed, but you can't seem to stop yourself from doing the things that are making you depressed. So let's say, for example, for me, I have been comfort eating so much, and it's not good because I've been comfort eating on biscuits, on chocolate, on crisps. I don't even usually eat crisps, but I've been eating crisps. I've just been eating whatever the hell I want, which at the time was self-serving because it was making me feel better in that moment. Like, it was the only thing that was kind of pulling me out of this like depressive period that I was in. So it made me understand, like, I do get why when we're feeling so shit, we do reach for the things that give us the instant gratification. Like, maybe it's social media for you, maybe it is narcotics, maybe it's alcohol, maybe it's food, I don't know, whatever crutch that you have. I kind of low-key understand why people reach for those things, because it's kind of like when you're feeling so numb and you're feeling so depressed maybe, or melancholic, you want to feel something. And I feel like sometimes the food, the alcohol, the TikTok, it's, oh my god, I sounded so old then, but they're the only things that can actually make us feel a little bit better in that moment. So obviously we're going to choose the thing that makes us feel better. I feel like that's great human evolution, that we still know to do the easy thing to make us feel better. I mean, that's probably not great human evolution that we resort to TikTok every time we're sad. But you know what I mean? Like, it's good that as humans, we are always looking for a solution to our problem. But it's so crazy how the solutions to our problems are actually the reason that is causing our problem, or if anything, making it worse. I understand why people do that when they're feeling depressed, because I've been feeling really depressed for like the first time in a while, and I've really been reaching for those things that bring me comfort. And it's interesting because now that I feel like I've broken out of that loop a little bit, like I do think that I've fully come out of the trenches, because I really was in the trenches. I was just eating whatever the hell I wanted. But now that I'm out of that, I can feel the clarity coming back to me. I can feel just my nervous system restoring, and I just feel so much better. And obviously I do still have that underlying feeling of like, ugh, it doesn't go away overnight. But I feel so much better having a bit more clarity and not feeling so unhinged and feeling like I need to lean on these things to get me through an emotion or get me through a hard time. Another observation that I made, guys, is that, right, I've not had a McDonald's since December, or I hadn't had a McDonald's since December until last week. And since last week, I've had about 6 McDonald's, which is really bad. And I noticed exactly how that made me feel. And like, I don't know what they put in McDonald's. Like, we all know it's shit. We all know it's ultra processed and it's not good. But like, sometimes it really hits the spot. But I had this McDonald's. I say this McDonald's. However many McDonald's I had, I think I had about 6. But after eating those things, it was kind of like it would make me really depressed. And it was like the only thing that could pull me out of that depression was another McDonald's. I don't know if I have like an addictive personality or whatever, but I just kept eating and eating it because I thought, well, it's easy to just eat McDonald's and feel a little bit better rather than actually sit down with my thoughts, with myself, be bored and just allow the feelings to come up, because obviously that's uncomfortable and we don't want to do that. But I think over time, like initially, it's like, oh my god, this feels good, why did I stop eating McDonald's? But then over time it's like, oh, this is why, because it actually makes me feel really depressed. I've broken out so much, I've got so many spots, and I don't really break out. So just a bit of food for thought there. But I do think McDonald's has depressants in it. One thing that I do that I think really, really helps me get out of these depressive periods a lot quicker is allowing myself to feel what I'm feeling and not make myself feel bad about it. I know that people online will tell you like, don't self-sabotage, don't do this bad habit, don't do that bad habit because it's detrimental to you as a person and your growth and your success. But sometimes, and this might be a controversial opinion, but I feel like sometimes maybe a little bit of self-sabotage is needed to kind of show you what you don't want. So for me, I was obviously feeling this deep desire to comfort eat, and I knew it was self-sabotage, but I felt the desire to self-sabotage, and I felt this desire to, as the kids say, rot. And this desire was so strong. And I think sometimes when you have a really strong desire for something and you try to push it down and you try to have discipline and you try to stop it, it actually makes it stronger and stronger and stronger beneath the surface, and then it just comes out with a vengeance when you least expect it. So I think when I'm feeling any of those strong desires to maybe have a little bit of a self-sabotage moment, I do allow it. Like, I do actually allow myself to do it, and I don't know whether that's because I don't get that as often now, but I think when you allow yourself to do something that you really want to do, it gives you a level of autonomy that is actually quite empowering. And I think when you allow yourself to do something but you also observe it while you're doing it, so it's not like you're just mindlessly doing this and making yourself feel really bad about it but then continuing to do it anyway. Like, you're doing it because you've chosen to do that, and you've chosen to honor what your body wants and what you want to do. I don't know, that might be a really controversial opinion, but I always find that when I have gone through a little bit of a rot and I've allowed myself to self-sabotage a little bit, I always seem to come out the other side feeling so much brighter and feeling so much more inspired and great. And I think it's because I'm not suppressing my emotions and I'm not suppressing what my body wants to do. And even if my body wants to do something that's bad, I feel like then maybe this is not applicable across the board, because if you deal with like severe problems, maybe don't listen to me. Like, I'm just a girl on the internet, but I don't know, I just feel like sometimes a bit of a rot is required, and a little bit of self-sabotage, just a little bit, can really set you free. That was probably the most shit advice that you've ever heard online, but it works for me. It really does work for me. So just allow myself to do that and not beat myself up about it and feel really bad, because I think it's in the beating yourself up about it that you actually drag it out so much longer, because it's like you're doing the bad thing, you're doing the self-sabotage anyway, like it's inevitable that you're going to do it, but then on top of that you're making yourself feel really, really bad about it and incorporating all of these low vibrational energies into your life, like guilt and shame, and you're just making it linger so much longer, and it doesn't help anyone. So I think accepting when you have a desire, sometimes you do just need to fulfill it and get it out of the way, and then you'll feel better afterwards. And for me, that desire kind of did last for about 2 weeks. I think every time that I go through that kind of thing, I learn a little bit more about myself each and every time, and I learn more and more and more how much I don't want to do these things. So like with, let's say for example, me eating a lot of chocolate. I don't usually eat that much chocolate because I know that it breaks me out. It dysregulates like my blood sugar levels. It fucks me up to have a lot of sugar. It makes me really moody. It makes me really irritable, and it's not great. So like I know that, but sometimes like when you've been on such a good, healthy run, sometimes you do kind of forget about that, and sometimes you think, I need to stir something up and just kind of like add a little bit of drama in there, because you know that, I don't know, I think when you're being healthy and when you're on a good track, sometimes it can get a little bit boring. So sometimes I do feel that desire to do it again, but each and every single time that I do that again, I realize more and more and more how much I don't want to do that. I'm a very, very sensitive person, so sugar and any kind of overconsumption of anything affects me more than the average person. I'm actually reading a book at the minute. I'll get it. This is the book that I'm reading at the minute. It's called Sensitive, and it is so good. Like I've never felt more seen and heard by a book in my whole entire life. That's probably a lie, because I feel this way every time I read a book, but like this book, and it's got a cat on it as well. Like, can it get any better? I really like it, and it's basically saying like how highly sensitive people are actually a lot more affected by sugar and alcohol and all different kinds of things, overstimulation. They're a lot more affected by it than the average person because of whatever reason. So that made me feel a little bit better in knowing that I'm not crazy, because I've always felt this way. Like when I was younger and I was going out drinking, I say when I was younger, when I was a teenager into adult years, and I would go out drinking with my friends, and it would affect me so much more. Like not in the way that I wouldn't really get drunk that quickly. I learned from my mistakes very early on, but the day after I would feel the effects of alcohol so much. Like I would get really, really depressed from drinking alcohol, and no one around me felt this. Like I felt like I was crazy, but I think it is a lot to do with the fact that I'm a very sensitive person. So anyway, all that to say is that my rot showed me just how bad it feels for me to overindulge in things that I probably shouldn't be overindulging in. And I know that that's like not great advice or whatever, but it is what it is. And like it would have happened anyway, whether I wanted to do it or not. So you might as well choose to do it. Another thing that I've done that's actually made me feel so much better is actually doing the things that I have been putting off for so long. I've been avoiding all my problems. There were so many things that I needed to do that were just building up and building up and building up. And to be fair, there are still some things that I need to do, but like I was letting them build up like there was no tomorrow. And once I actually ticked off one little thing that I needed to do that I'd been avoiding, the way it just made me feel so much lighter and so much better was crazy. And like I knew that was going to be the case, but sometimes you just need that reminder and that push to actually do the things that you've been avoiding, because I know that you're all avoiding things out there. I know that we can all get a bit avoidant sometimes because life is overwhelming, life is hard, there's always so many things to do. It's constantly giving us new problems to deal with. So I get that it's really annoying and it can be a bit much sometimes, but I don't know, this can be like your little reminder that if you're avoiding anything and you're also feeling really shit, maybe just doing like just slowly ticking off those things, just slowly working towards getting those things done, it makes you feel so much better. And then you think, oh my god, I actually feel so much better. How has that happened? And then you realize it's because you've actually done the things that you've been avoiding and putting off and just catastrophizing for so long. And really, a lot of these things aren't actually that bad. So if you've got things that you're avoiding, just do them. You'll probably feel so much better, and like you can probably negate the rest of the tips that I've even told you in this video. And I just think like the general things, like I'm not going to go into all the things that you can do to make yourself feel better if you're feeling depressed, because there's so many videos out there like it. I've even got so many videos on my channel. Like I could tell you that you need to meditate, you need to exercise, you need to read a book, you need to go for a walk, but you know all those things. Like you do know all those things, but just as a little bit of a reminder, maybe do those things, maybe just check in on whether you are doing those things or not, because those things do help. Like meditating, that really helps with the nervous system, and a lot of the time we do get to feel really depressed because our nervous system is absolutely fucked. Like it's so overwhelmed because life is just so overwhelming. So naturally our body probably does just crave a little bit of stillness and a little bit of boredom. And I think for me, I realized that I needed to stop being so scared of boredom. Like when I got to the point where I was like feeling really agitated when I wasn't on TikTok or when I wasn't watching a program or when I wasn't eating food, I was thinking to myself like, yeah, that's actually probably a problem and I need to work on that. So I think just maybe having like a little bit of self-awareness about how you're feeling, but also giving yourself the compassion to just go through the motions and not beat yourself up about it. I do think that's like the main thing that actually helps me get out of these ruts and slumps so easily. I honestly used to be in a constant state of just feeling really sad all the time, like feeling really mildly sad all the time, because I just wasn't processing my feelings. I wasn't allowing myself to feel what I needed to feel. But anyway guys, this was actually meant to be a really quick video, but it's ended up being like probably a full length video. But they're just some things that have helped me. Obviously I'm not like saying, oh, I'm cured, like I'm not depressed anymore, because like I'm still going through some shit, but I'm feeling a lot brighter and I don't feel as like dependent on food and external things to make me feel happy. Like I've finally gotten to a point where I feel a little bit sane again and I feel a little bit more regulated and I've got more energy as well. And also guys, if you're a woman, you have a cycle. You might be on birth control. I don't really know how that works when you're on birth control, but if you have a cycle, a monthly cycle, your moods are going to fluctuate anyway. Like throughout the month, your moods are going to fluctuate. We operate so differently to men and this world was made for men. So just take it a little bit easier on yourself because you're probably doing the best that you can do. But sometimes we just don't have the energy like we have on other days and that's so fine. Just give yourself a break, relax, take it easy, allow yourself to be sad. If you're feeling sad right now, just feel sad, just embrace it. And I know it's shit. I know it's so annoying when you're feeling really numb and you've got all these emotions stuck inside of you and you don't know how to deal with them. I know that that is so hard. Like that was literally me yesterday. And like the day before. In fact, yesterday I was feeling a little bit better. Anyway guys, I better get back to work now because I am actually really busy today and I'm really procrastinating by filming this video. So I might actually get back to work and get my work done. That would probably be a good idea. But I hope you guys are all doing well. If you are feeling depressed at the minute, just take the pressure off yourself. That's all I'm gonna say. Take the pressure off yourself because we are all humans. We're all going through the same thing. We're all experiencing the same kind of things collectively anyway. So I know that me filming this video, like I know that I'm not the only one who's going through this right now. And I know that I'm not the only one who's feeling the effects of Mercury retrograde. Oh my God. But like, just know that it's all gonna be all right. Anyway, thank you for watching and I will see you in my next video.